It's time for our Darren Criss interview.
Darren
Yay!
Criss.
I actually talked to Darren on the phone earlier today. We're recording this on Tuesday. I spoke to him early this morning. He called me on the phone, so apologies in advance for the audio, but I think it actually sounds pretty okay, considering it's a phone call. We talked about the big upcoming Elsie Fest, which is a music festival, an outdoor music festival that he's co-executive producing and performing in. It'll be on September 27th in New York. And it's like him and a bunch of like musical theater stars.
Total theater geek festival.
Yeah, theater geek heaven.
Yes.
Aaron Tveit is going to be there. Leslie Odom Jr. Leah Salonga will be there. Darren, his Star Kid friends that, you know, if you are familiar with Darren, you know of what I speak. And so we talked about that, which is very exciting. And we also talked about how he is currently nominated for an Emmy Award, but not for acting, for writing a song. He actually jokes about that a little bit because he's just like, yeah, I'm nominated for an Emmy. But, it's, you know, he's very humble about it because he's like, it's not for acting, though. I'm like, just stop it. And we also talk a little bit about how he is going to be seen in American Horror Story Hotel. Does that mean he gets to play against Lady Gaga? Will he get killed by Lady Gaga? Will he sing with Lady Gaga? We have no idea. But anyway, here is my little interview with Darren Criss, and take it away, Keith. Hey.
You and I will be young forever.
Hello, Darren Criss. Welcome back to the Billboard Pop Shop Podcast. Hey.
It's great to be back. Hello. I can't believe you said it was like a year ago. That is insane to me. My time frame has just been completely warped by back-to-back projects. So I don't believe that was a year ago, but I think that is probably close to what it was.
It was last October, and you came in and co-hosted the show, and were very gracious with your time. And now you are one of our handful of repeat customers, joining the likes of Nick Jonas and Fifth Harmony, who have also gone on the show more than once. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
right?
wow, I'm in really cool company. That's quite a compliment. Two of those.
You and Nick seem to be thick as thieves, with how to succeed in business, and now the Pop Shop Podcast. It's amazing.
Really? Everything. But yeah, we're basically the same person with those two things.
It's the hair, I think. Song and dance and the hair.
I was with Joe Jonas like a couple weeks ago, or maybe months ago at this point, in New York, and we just kept going around me saying, he's like, yeah, it's my brother Nick. I'm like, hi, I'm Nick, without even batting an eyelash. So I'm glad he's in on the joke at least. At least one of the brothers is in on it.
Yeah. But we're actually talking for a different reason, not to talk about Nick Jonas or to promote him, but that's nice. We're actually talking because you are about to stage a really cool thing in New York coming up on September 27th. It is Elsie Fest, which is a celebration of like musical theater and show tunes, and it's this day-long event in New York that you are co-executive producing. And I think it's such a cool idea. And for the folks listening, tell us what this Elsie Fest is all about.
Well, for I think most people that might listen to this podcast, I mean, maybe we have some musical theater or Broadway fans out there. Maybe we don't. Maybe they absolutely hate it. I don't know.
I doubt that. I think they like it.
Well, I mean, I think people who listen to the show, it's people who are interested in pop music and following the ups and downs of sort of mainstream. And so I guess for me, because I kind of have had the real privilege of being able to dance between both worlds. I mean, I'm not like a pop singer by any means, and I don't have songs on the charts. But, it's between following that and being a lover of pop culture and a lover of Broadway and a lover of, and consumer of a lot of different popular cultures, it very much interests me to kind of slam them together, even whether subconsciously or not. When I was just starting out, I loved playing Disney tunes and punk rock bands. I liked fusing things together that were cool to me on both sides of my brain, but I don't think they had the same sort of demographic unless you kind of served it on a plate where both demographics could realize that they were pretty similar and could be pretty palatable. So that's kind of how I figured, I go to a lot of cabaret shows, a lot of really great venues in New York and around the country, and I see a lot of people that do these lush kind of lounge shows, and particularly for the young people who go to these shows and really have an avid enthusiasm about these people performing and the songs they're hearing. I was like, man, this energy kind of is bigger than these very nice venues that we're in. And then when I go to music festivals, and obviously when I spend time in Los Angeles, when you go to Coachella every year, there's definitely a vibe about that, and I just thought I could put them together. Now, so in short, I guess the tagline people have been throwing around is saying the Coachella show tunes, which is sort of a tall order. I mean, this is our first go of it.
No pressure. The cool thing about this show is that, again, it's on September 27th from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. For more information, you can go to elsiefest.com. That's ELSIE Fest, FEST.com. And there's even meet and greet opportunities with Darren and other performers. Among the performers are Aaron Tveit. I always pronounce his name wrong, evidently. And you're performing, obviously, and so is Star Kid, the production group, the troupe that sort of kind of made you famous with a very Potter musical and so forth, and Leah Salonga and a bunch of other folks. And everyone is doing 30-minute sets, evidently, of music that we're familiar with from their own repertoire or songs they may have performed on stage. But also, I'm sure there's going to be surprises and probably collaborations that we're not expecting. How far along? I'm assuming you're kind of far along in figuring out, what your set list will be, what everyone else is going to be singing. That's all happening right now, I would imagine.
That's all happening right now. One, thank you for actually summing up what your question was, with actually giving time, place, information, who's performing, all the stuff I'm supposed to say. When you asked me, tell us a little about Elsie Fest, I said I talked about everything else.
Aside from who was performing, it's okay. It's all right. That's why I'm here. I'm here to help you promote. It's all right.
Thank you. Yeah, people who know me know that I have a bad habit of doing that. But thank you. I mean, yes, those are. I mean, the people we left out is Leslie Odom Jr., who to me is a breakout star from the current hit, smash, crazy, successful musical Hamilton on Broadway. Which
speaking of which, and what you were saying earlier, and this is related to Hamilton. Speaking of which, Lin-Manuel Miranda, who created Hamilton and stars in Hamilton, had this great profile in the New York Times, I think, where he basically said that folks like him who know all about hip-hop music and also about show tunes are like unicorns. And what you described about you being able to sort of blend rock music with Broadway show tunes and musical theater and your love of Alan Menken or whatever, it's kind of like a unicorn. But the thing is, there's this passionate herd of unicorns that run around on the internet that would love to go to a show like this. And that's why doing Elsie Fest seems like such a really brilliant idea, and that will sort of super serve a very passionate fan base.
Yeah, let's hope so. Listen, I'd be happy to have as many unicorns as humanly possible at Elsie Fest. That sounds great. I mean, Lin-Manuel is a great example of the fusion of two different, interests and he's done a really fabulous job of making both things accessible for both sides of the coin. And exactly. So he's a perfect example of kind of what this festival embodies. Leslie Odom Jr. We have Seth Rudetsky, who is a big Broadway personality in this community, and if you listen to Sirius XM radio, he's a very popular host, and he performs a lot.
I also want to acknowledge the fact that I will forever be able to introduce you now as the Emmy Award nominated Darren Criss. That has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Because you are nominated for an Emmy Award now, which is really cool, right?
But what's funny, as an actor, people would think that it's sort of like some acting role, which is right. I got it for writing a song, so I feel like it's one of these sort of
embrace the
things.
Award nomination. Just take it.
I totally will. It's fun. It's like if I got nominated for costume design, and if I was an actor, that I could forever be Academy Award nominated.
Exactly.
This time, no one's gonna say goodbye. I keep you in this heart of mine. This time.
Darren is nominated for Outstanding Original Music and Lyrics for writing the song This Time for the finale episode of Glee. It was the next to last song performed on the show. Leah Michele sang the song. And you're actually nominated along with some pretty, significant folks. The Lopez's, Kristen Anderson Lopez and Robert Lopez, who of course wrote Let It Go and the music for Frozen. They're actually nominated twice in this category.
Twice. Yes.
So here's hoping they'll split the vote. And I don't know. I'm just being silly. It's an award. It's just nice to be recognized.
Yeah, especially when you have names like Bobby and Kristen, and like and the other nominees who, it's not like the world is hanging on the edge of their seats finding out who gets nominated for songs. Like, it's all, I get it. It's like they want to know.
I do.
Well, thank you, and you are the world, Keith. Forgive me. But people are, the John Hands and the actors and all that stuff. I realize that sort of gets the glitz and the glam. So, in our humble little world, I think it's really cool to be just listed alongside those people.
Well, before we wrap up, I want to know, and I want you to clear up a rumor for me. And this is where you can feel free to shoot me down. I like to look at someone's IMDb page every so often, and evidently you're in American Horror Story Hotel. Is that true? Because maybe we'll see you next year at the Emmy Awards in a different category, perhaps.
Yeah, I am. I'm going to be doing that.
Hey, look at that.
I don't know anything about it, but I think it's out there. I think Brian Murphy's put that out there. I don't know if he's put it out there. You're named Hipster Justin on IMDb, and you're in, I think, 3 or 4 episodes, allegedly. You telling me that my name is Justin on IMDb, that's the most I've heard about it. I didn't know my name was Justin. So it's one of those things where, because Ryan Murphy is the co-creator of American Horror Story, or he might be the sole creator. It's with a bunch of folks, and Ryan Murphy, of course, created Glee, which Darren, of course, we already mentioned, was a part of. So I'm assuming he probably just called you and was like, hey, do you want to be part of this? And you're like, sure, whatever it is, I'll do it. That is actually exactly what happened. He emailed me. I was in Italy, and he just emailed me, do you want to do this thing? And I was like, yeah, dude, of course. That sounds awesome. This is where you find out you've been cast as like a murderer or something, or you get knocked off after 3 minutes in the show. But you're like, great. Whatever, it's Ryan. Yeah, I don't think it's for like a huge, I don't know very much, but I don't think I'm going to be around very long. I think it's just for maybe an episode or 2. But I have no idea. That's what I thought Glee was going to be. So who knows? Exactly. And to tie it back to Nick Jonas just one more time, he's in Scream Queens, which is, of course, another Ryan Murphy production, and I'm pretty sure he gets knocked off kind of quickly, too. So, again, it's this full circle moment with you and Nick Jonas. I don't know why I keep coming back to him. But it's fine. Like, he has had such a fabulous career that if I'm ever in the same thought process with Nick Jonas, I consider that a good day. I'm okay with that. And as you said, your stint on Glee was, I think, initially only supposed to be like an episode or 2, and your debut episode where you sing, of course, Katy Perry's Teenage Dream turned into such a sort of pop culture moment that it turned into a much longer stint on the show. So hey, you never know what could happen. You never know. You really don't. Trust me. That's kind of been the story of my life the past few years, because that was 5-6 years ago. Oh my God. So yeah, you just never know. Let's hope I can say the same thing with Elsie, by the way. Let's hope I can be like, yeah, who knew that it was gonna X, Y, and Z. I hope I didn't just jinx it by saying that, actually. No, you didn't. And just this year alone, you finished off Glee. You starred on Broadway in Hedwig and the Angry Inch. You went to Italy to do a movie. Now you're back doing Elsie Fest. You have the Emmy Awards. You're doing American Horror Story. And this is all just in this calendar year. So you're kind of busy, Darren. Steve, you're kind of busy. You are so good at this. I am so lost in my own, like, what I'm doing in the next 5 minutes that I can never really look at it that way. So thank you. Hey, God, I got to fire my publicist. No. You're way better at this. No, I'm kidding. Yes, he's very kidding. He's very, very kidding. That grammatically doesn't even make any sense, but whatever. Yeah. Thank you very much for doing this. It was lovely talking. Likewise, man. And always really a fun time catching up about this stuff. I hope you make it out to Elsie.
I would love to. I would love to make it happen, and if I can't, maybe I can send an emissary in my place to check it out, because I think it's going to be a hoot and a half.
Yeah, send Nick Jonas.
Yes, send Nick Jonas.
Wish I can be part of your room.
Thanks again to Darren Criss for calling in to the Billboard Pop Shop podcast. Make sure to check out the Elsie Fest on September 27th. And hey, Darren, good luck this weekend at the Emmy Awards. And also, of course, make sure to check out Darren on American Horror Story Hotel to see if he survives the first episode. Who knows if he'll even be in the first episode? We have no idea. He doesn't know what's going on. So now you know what time it is, Katie.